รายการต่อไปนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
สวัสดีค่ะคุณผู้ชมขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่รายการ The Health Guardians ค่ะ
สวัสดีครับน้องลิด้าสวัสดีครับคุณผู้ชมงุนงิดมากเลย
พี่บอดเป็นอะไรงุนงิดแต่เช้าเลย
เมื่อกี้พี่บอดไปต่อแถวซื้อข้าวมานะสิพี่บอดสั่งกะเพราหมูกรอบบอกแม่ค้าว่าไม่ใส่ใบกะเพราแล้วน้องลิด้ารู้ไหมว่าแม่ค้าใส่อะไรมาให้พี่
ใส่อะไรมาให้เหรอคะพี่บอด
แม่ค้าเขาใส่ก้านใบกะเพรามาให้พี่นะสิ
ก้านกะเพราจริงๆก็ไม่ผิดนะพี่บอดก็ไม่ใส่ใบไงผิดตรงไหน โอ้ยทำไมต้องหงุดหงิดด้วยเรื่องแค่นี้เองไวทองไหมเนี่ย
ไวทองเลยเหรอน้องลิด้าพี่ไม่ได้เป็นหรอกแต่แม่ค้าเขาทำให้พี่หงุดหงิดนะสิ
ไม่เป็นก็ไม่เป็นจ้ะคุณผู้ชมคะแบบนี้ไวทองชัวร์
น้องลิด้าครับพี่ไม่ได้เป็นไวทองนะครับแล้วไวทองเนี่ยมันคืออะไรเหรอครับ
เดี๋ยวเล่าให้ฟังแต่พี่ต้องหายหงุดหงิดก่อนนะวัยทองหมายถึงวัยของผู้หญิงและผู้ชายที่มีอายุในช่วง 40-59 ปีซึ่งอยู่ระหว่างวัยเจริญพันธุ์และวัยผู้สูงอายุเป็นวัยที่ความสามารถในการผลิตฮอร์โมนเพศลดน้อยลงจนเกิดอาการเปลี่ยนแปลงทางร่างกายและมีโอกาสเสี่ยงต่อปัญหาสุขภาพได้ง่ายเช่นโรคความดันโลหิตสูงโรคกระดูกพรุนโรคเบาหวานและโรคหัวใจค่ะ
แล้วผู้ชายแบบพี่เนี่ยเป็นได้ด้วยหรอครับ
เป็นได้ค่ะพี่บอดเป็นได้เหมือนผู้หญิงเลยค่ะแค่อาจจะไม่คอมมอนเท่าของผู้หญิงแล้วก็อาการอาจจะต่างกันนิดหน่อยค่ะ
แล้วอาการไวทองเนี่ยนี่มันยังไงกันล่ะครับพี่เริ่มงงแล้วนะ
ไม่ต้องงงเดี๋ยวเล่าต่อลักษณะของไวทองมี2ลักษณะนะคะ 1. การเปลี่ยนแปลงของฮอร์โมนระดับฮอร์โมนเอสโตรเจนและโปรเจสเตอโรนจะลดลงค่ะซึ่งเป็นฮอร์โมนที่ควบคุมรอบเดือนและการทำงานของระบบสืบพันธุ์การเปลี่ยนแปลงของฮอร์โมนนี้จะทำให้เกิดอาการต่างๆที่เกี่ยวข้องกับอาการไวทองและ 2. การหมดประจำเดือนเมื่อประจำเดือนหยุดมาอย่างถาวรและไม่ได้เกิดจากการรักษาทางการแพทย์หรือว่าการตั้งครรภ์เป็นเวลา1 ปีเต็มจะถือว่าเป็นการเข้าสู่วัยหมดประจำเดือนค่ะอาการของผู้หญิงที่เป็นไวทองมี3ระยะแรกคือระยะก่อนหมดประจำเดือนหรือว่า perimenopauseเป็นระยะเริ่มของการหมดประจำเดือนทำให้สตรีมีประจำเดือนมาผิดปกติร่วมกับมีอาการทางร่างกายเช่นร้อนวูบวาบมึนศีรษะอ่อนเพลียอารมณ์จะแปรปรวนซึ่งระยะนี้จะเกิดขึ้นประมาณ 2-3 ปี 2. ระยะหมดประจำเดือนหรือ menopause เป็นระยะที่เริ่มต้นตั้งแต่การหมดประจำเดือนมาแล้ว1 ปีเต็มและ 3. ระยะหลังหมดประจำเดือนหรือว่า post menopause เป็นระยะที่เริ่มต้นตั้งแต่หลังหมดประจำเดือนมาแล้ว1 ปีและจะทำให้เกิดอาการเปลี่ยนแปลงต่างๆในร่างกายได้เช่นช่องคลอดตีบแคบกระดูกพรุนและเกิดภาวะแทรกซ้อนของโรคต่างๆได้ง่ายขึ้นค่ะผู้หญิงที่มีอาการรุนแรงสามารถใช้ฮอร์โมนทดแทนได้ค่ะซึ่งจะช่วยบรรเทาอาการได้แต่ควรปรึกษาแพทย์ก่อนเริ่มใช้การใช้ยาสมุนไพรบางคนอาจเลือกใช้สมุนไพรแทนเช่นถั่วเหลืองและ black cohosh ซึ่งเป็นสารที่คล้ายกับฮอร์โมนเอสโตรเจนและการสนับสนุนทางจิตใจค่ะการเข้าร่วมกลุ่มสนับสนุนหรือว่าได้รับคำปรึกษาจากนักจิตวิทยาอาจจะช่วยบรรเทาอาการทางอารมณ์ของเราได้เช่นกันค่ะ
พี่บอดว่านะน้องลิดาป้าแม่ค้าเนี่ยที่ทำข้าวให้พี่เนี่ยจะต้องเป็นไวทองแน่ๆเลยครับ
เห็นไหมคะพี่บอดว่าพี่บอดมีอาการไวทองตามข้อมูลต่างๆที่ได้เล่ามาหมดเลย
พี่บอดไม่ยอมเป็นหรอกพี่บอดยังวัยรุ่นอยู่เลย
So I understand Thornbury Hospital have a vision in the next 2 years become the best cancer center in Thailand. So for the short term, foundation is want to build a facility really to produce a radio diagnosis tracer we call radiopharmacy. So when you inject the radioisotope labeled sugar into the patient, the tumor will light up radioactively. As long as have that signature expressing in the tumor, the tracer will go there and the isotope will bombard the tumor. Just like think about
โหสุดยอดไปเลย
ทำอะไรอยู่ครับน้องลิด้าหน้าตาตั้งใจสุดๆเลย
ก็กำลังอ่านเรื่องโรคมะเร็งอยู่ค่ะพี่บอดคือเดี๋ยวลิด้าจะไปคุยกับคุณหมอเรื่องโรคมะเร็งก็กะว่าจะหาข้อมูลที่น่าสนใจไปพูดคุยอยู่ค่ะ
ไหนข้อมูล อะไรขอพี่ดูหน่อยสิ
ก็นี่ไงเกี่ยวกับการรักษามะเร็งด้วยนวัตกรรมใหม่ค่ะพี่บอดไม่ต้องใช้คีโมรักษาเร็วขึ้นและตรงจุดกว่าเดิมด้วยนะ
โอ้โหแบบนี้ก็เจ๋งแจ๋วไปเลยสิครับ แล้วมันยังไงกันล่ะครับน้องนิด้า
ก็ริดาก็ต้องไปคุยกับผู้เชี่ยวชาญไงคะจะได้ชัดเจนไปเลย
โอ้พี่บอดก็นึกว่านิด้ารู้ซะอีก
สวัสดีค่ะ How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, I'm very excited to kind of share what am I, where I'm from, and what my experience is. So my name is Sutan Lo or Tom Lo. I'm from Taiwan, and half of me actually is Thailand because I married a beautiful wife from Thailand, have 2 little kids, and myself, I trained in U.S. for over 18 years, research and development, nuclear medicine, imaging space. And why I'm here is I want to introduce Lehman Taiwan into Thailand because I think with a Lehman and then Thornbury Hospital, we can build together for the cancer patient future and have a better outcome for the cancer treatment.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this study?
Yeah, so Lehman Taiwan right now, we set up a facility which is very specialized to produce a radioactive drug which can help to detect the tumor in the patient. So I understand Thornbury Hospital have a vision in the next 2 years become the best cancer center in Thailand. So I think because the Lehman Taiwan is spin off from one of hospital, Ren General Hospital in Kaohsiung. Geometry-wise, Thailand and Taiwan very close. And the temperature-wise, Kaohsiung and Thailand is very close too. It's very warm. So I think for technology transfer, for the training, for the people, is very nearby. Instead of you have to go to Europe or US. So the hospital size is very similar too. So logistically, it's very easy to transfer and help each other. Yeah.
And about this new cancer detecting technology?
So the new cancer technology is really have a different layer of a foundation. So everything you need to be a foundation stable enough to build up in future in long term. So for the short term, foundation is want to build a facility really to produce a radio diagnosis tracer we call radiopharmacy. So this is tracer is a simple glucose with sugar and with a radioactive. And in tumor, actually, they love sugar. They need more sugar to grow. So when you inject the radioisotope labeled sugar into the patient, the tumor will light up radioactively. And then another infrastructure is building a PET CT scanner and have a camera to capture the radiation. So for the doctor, able to easily locate where the tumor is, how big it is, and how widespread is it. And then to find out the plan for the patient and help the patient to kill the cancer.
Why do you have to use the PET scanner?
So the PET scan is very different than, let's say, CT, which is X-ray, or MRI, which everybody know very widely. And in hospital, we do the CT scan for the bone fracture and MR for anything happening in the brain. But the difference between the PET scan and CT or the MR is CT is all structure-wise. They can see the bone very clean, so people use for the bone fracture. MR is for the brain. If you have any soft tissue, the MR, because it's a look at the water density, so you can see very clear for the soft tissue. But the PET, on the other hand, it's very functional. So if a tumor have a very special marker overexpressing, then the radioisotope able to locate the tumor and then make a tumor light up. But the CT, you can see the big tumor. MR, you can see the big tumor, but the small little one, especially metastasis all through the body, you no way to detect from the MR and the CT. Yeah, you need a PET.
So this means you can detect the tumor or the cancer even though it's just starting?
It's just starting, you can see it, yeah. So normally after patient or the people get older, you have an annual check. One of it is inject the radioactive PET. So there's a kind of a healthcare package. I think Thornbury is able to provide in the normally general screening method. And if you see the tumor as early as possible, which is key, you want to treat as early. So then the patient have a better survival rate and better outcome for the treatment. If it's too late, you see a widespread, then we have another layer of management able to help the patient. Yeah.
Is this kind of technology fairly new or has it been going on for a while?
So the PET scanner, the first PET scanner is back in 1970. It's very, very old technology. But right now, the reason why people think the PET will help is because it's next generation of a radiotherapy, which I'm going to introduce, which is very, very new. Currently, market only have two markets. Instead of looking for the tumor to detect, they carry the radioisotope, able to treat the tumor, able to cut down the DNA in the tumor cell locally. So you can treat the tumor on site, and doesn't matter if big tumor or small tumor, as long as have that signature expressing in the tumor, the tracer will go there and the isotope will bombard the tumor. Just like think about, if you want to PET scan, it's a ping pong ball, you want to penetrate far and you can see it. But that kind of isotope is like a bowling ball, very, very heavy and cannot travel far and only travel very small distance. So when they go to the tumor and cure the tumor in a very small distance, and then not harm other organ around the body. So people will always think about how about radiation in the external beam radiation means you have a higher energy X-ray focal on the tumor in the body. But external beam is because, let's say, the light around us shining through and then locate to the tumor. But how are we going to pass to the body? You have to go through the lung, go through the kidney. So external beam instead will damage all the surrounding tumor through the pass. But the newer technology is called targeted radiotherapy. You inject the radiation drug inside the body, and then will travel through the bloodstream, locate the tumor, and stay there. All the other organ will be spared. There's no uptake because there's no target over there. So then we'll burn the tumor on site, and other organ won't be harmed that much compared to the external beam radiation therapy.
So you're kind of like protecting the body and all the other organs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit more how it works? Can anyone do it?
Yeah, so right now currently there's only two drugs approved by FDA and European Union. So one is called Lutathera, the other called Pluvicto. So Lutathera is much more specific for, it's both from Novartis. You know, Novartis is a Switzerland company, very big. They are in this field for a long time. So those two drugs, one is targeted to pancreatic cancer and very rare disease, and we so-called a neuroendocrine disease. Sometimes in the breast cancer, sometimes in the lung, have to be very, very specific. And Pluvicto, on the other hand, is prostate cancer in general. So men eventually will get prostate cancer in all different way. So the prostate cancer, in the beginning, if you found very early, you're able to take it out from the physician, from surgeon. But when the late stage is spread out all over the body, and that's the problem. That's most of the time you have to go through chemotherapy, but most of the time survival rate is not that long. So Pluvicto is to provide a very special solution, help those kind of late stage of a patient able to cure the cancer with the 6th round of the treatment, and the dose is much lower than the external beam therapy, and the side effect is much lower than the chemotherapy. Yeah.
So right now it's about 3 or 4 different types of tumor, right?
Yes. So if it's a neuroendocrine tumor, will from breast cancer, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer. But pancreatic cancer, if you have it, the deadly rate is very, very high. And prostate cancer is much more manageable, but the much more population have the prostate cancer problem. So will be 4 type of cancer right now. And the company I work with in US called RaceBio, we are the leading company for next generation of a target therapy. So we have a more in clinical trial phase 3 right now around the world. Another one is phase 1, which is liver cancer. So liver cancer is also very high population in Asia, Taiwan, Thailand. So Thailand is about number 5, I believe. Taiwan is very high, it's number 2. On the top of that, lung cancer, I know in Thailand is the highest. So the lung cancer is the next one we are chasing from, we call the indication for our clinical trial. Yeah.
Do you think in the future, which way is it going to head?
So definitely the phase 3-1 we hope will finish up the clinical trial next year. And the FDA, the result right now is look pretty good. So we expect that 2026 or 2027 will be FDA approved. Yeah.
So fairly nearby.
Yes, so it's kind of like we have to think about build a structure to have a best PET CT cancer center in Thailand. And then later on, depends on the tumor type, depending on patient, then the next generation treatment will come on board. But all the things need a radio pharmacy, means a pharmacy, not just selling the regular drug, it's a pharmacy to produce a radioactive medicine. It's like a la carte. You order a steak in a restaurant. You need a fresh, you need a very tender, juicy steak. But that thing, because I have a radioisotope, have a shelf life, it decays through the time. So the patient come in, we design a treatment structure, and then we make the drug right on site, right on Trimble radio pharmacy, and treat the patient on site. Yes.
Does it take long to detect?
No, detection is very quick. So detection, PET imaging is a key. So light it up, then we can see it. So the beauty of the new technology called theranostic. So it's a kind of mixed word between therapy and diagnosis. So diagnosis, we use a PET. So we see it, we treat it. So the same compound, we change different isotope. One is for detection, and we swap it to the therapeutic isotope. Then we can treat the tumor with the same compound. So if you can see the tumor, the drug can treat the tumor.
Can you tell us more about the treatment and this drug? So
this drug is called, right now the market is called using the isotope called Lutathera. So Lutathera means lutetium-177. So lutetium is a radioisotope metal and can emit out one particle called beta particle. So different than the PET imaging. PET imaging is called positron. So positron is an electron photon with a certain energy and able to capture by the camera, but that pass through very far. But beta particle is pass through shorter distance and able to create a DNA single strand break. So when the single strand break, the cancer will die. So that's why the isotope has to be the key to develop into the patient. And the mechanism of action, we so-called the MOA, is because very, very simple. The radiation treat the tumor and then damage the DNA. And at the same time, because the radiation is very, very small amount, so right now, the beauty of this kind of field is you don't have to go through the traditional drug development. You need have because chemotherapy get a lot of high dose drug. So we want to see if a patient have a toxicity, have a side effect, we call the adverse event. But for radiation drug is, we call it microdosing, means very, very small amount. And with that, the side effect or adverse event for the patient is very, very little. So the throughput to get FDA approved is much more faster compared to 10 years in the regular drug development. This can be 2 years. Yeah.
Is there an age limit for this?
Depends on the patient. So right now we have some indication for pediatric. So there will be a lower dose of the treatment for the kids pediatric patient with a certain type of tumor. Most of the patient is an adult or live senior. So that's the range. But the radiation-wise have to be reduced and for the pediatric patient. Yeah.
Can you give us like an example case of a patient that has this done and got a positive effect?
Yeah, I think this is a perfect question because one time there's a breast cancer patient coming to San Diego, the Race Bio company. So she goes through 11 different chemotherapy. Wow. So after that, the tumor still come out and then migrate into the lung. So the problem for going to the lung, the tumor will have a lot of fluid. So you can imagine you are drowning all the time. You cannot breathe. And she have to go to the hospital and then get a physician to have a drainage, drain out the liquid. Then she can breathe. So after the trial for the RACE1 drug, after the first dose, she can breathe.
Wow.
The fluid is disappear, and then when she go to the PET scan, all the hotspot migrate to the tumor is start disappear. And then after the third round, she can go travel in Europe with her husband. And I think the most important is not to cure the tumor or not to get rid of the tumor, but the most important to relieve the pain for the patient. So the well-being of a patient, able to live in a normal life, don't have to go to the hospital that frequent. You can imagine that is the thing they want, the patient want the most. Of course, the benefit is the tumor is disappear. So that is a very lively example in front of us when she talked about the journey she had through the treatment and the difference between before and after. That's very impactful.
And estimately, how many dosage would a patient need?
For the RACE1, our scheduled dose is 6 dose, but most of the patients 3 dose already see the effected. So most of the time is about the physician, what they determine, and use a PET scan to determine if there's a further dose needed. So it depends on the patient, depends on severity too. Yeah.
And what can Thailand look forward to from this?
Thailand definitely can benefit for that because I see the healthcare is an equality for the people. Doesn't matter you are in the Western world or you're European or you're Asian. For patient health or patient well-being, I think it's equality. So if we truly able to bring in this kind of newest treatment in the population, I think is very, very benefit for that. Of course, we still have more development to go to find more coverage, especially the lung cancer, breast cancer. As I can show in some of it, right now there's more than 30 different startup company, big pharma company, chasing the same goal, able to develop a new next generation of radiopharmaceutical to help the patient.
Is there anything you would like to add to the audience watching right now?
I think we covered most of it. I'm very excited to share with the people in Thailand the new technology coming up and hopefully really can bring on board Thunberg and then able to help the patient throughout the country. Yeah. Thank you so much.
ขอบคุณค่ะ ซึ่งหลังจากที่พูดคุยกับคุณทอมไปนะคะก็ทำให้รู้ได้ว่าตอนนี้มีอีกหนึ่งทางเลือกใหม่ในการรักษาค่ะที่จะช่วยกระชับเวลาและรักษาได้อย่างตรงจุดมากยิ่งขึ้นซึ่งสิ่งนี้นะคะจะช่วยให้ผู้ป่วยสามารถกลับไปใช้ชีวิตกับครอบครัวและคนรักได้เร็วยิ่งขึ้นค่ะสำหรับวันนี้ก็หมดเวลาของ The Health Guardians แล้วนะคะกลับมาพบกับริด้าได้ใหม่ทุกวันอาทิตย์ 11 นาฬิกานะคะแล้วเจอกันค่ะบ๊ายบาย
So I understand Thunberg Hospital have a vision in the next 2 years become the best cancer center in Thailand. So for the short term, foundation is want to build a facility really to produce a radio diagnosis tracer we call radiopharmacy. So when you inject the radioisotope labeled sugar into the patient, the tumor will light up radioactively. As long as have that signature expressing in the tumor, the tracer will go there and the isotope will bombard the tumor. Just like think about